Now, if I said to you that today's unboxing reminds me of this guy, would you think I was crazy, or do you think I've got a point? Welcome back, I'm Airsoft Mike, let's do this. Now, if I'm honest with you, I never thought I would ever purchase another APS product ever again, purely because of the issues I had with that little bad boy. However, it's not about that pistol, and by the way, things have changed regarding that pistol, and I'll do a complete new video regarding that, but I will say I am now happy. So, today, there's a reason why I bought this bad boy. It's because I am such a fan of a particular real firearm in how it looks. Obviously, I'm not allowed to have it, being in the UK. But have you heard of F1 firearms? If you know about F1 firearms, you'll know why I like this from APS. Let's get this one out. Anyway, let me just put that here. Got a set of instructions right there. Anything else? Anything else? There's an extra box right here. We'll look in that. Let's just get rid of this. So let's have a look and see what we get inside of this box. Okay, so nice. We've got a nylon fiber mag. Loving the color scheme, black and gold. Okay, let's put that to one side for a second. And there seems to be, yes, there's another section down here. And what have we got? Okay, yes. Now, this is a first of its kind on this channel. You've got angled sights, and I'll show you what they look like once they're on this APS ASR. We've got a QD sling attachment right there, good, and a little bag of APS BBs. That's the rear sight. That should look pretty awesome once it's on this ASR 121. And this is your front sight. Looks very tactical. Would you look? Let me say that again. Would you look at this? Now, if you can't see why I went for this, and if I was to tell you purely on looks, because it is so different to anything else that I've owned, this is what you would call a concept design. This is blatantly based off of the awesome F1 firearms. F1 firearms are very famous for their different colors and their different designs and cutouts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sights on, put the magazine on, set it up so you can have a good old look at it. And while I'm doing that, watch this quick video, because it does have a LiPo ready, high cycle rate, silver edge gearbox, which is supposed to be different to everything else. Well, just watch this little clip and I'll be right back. Oh, and for those of you that wanted to see how these cool looking sights go onto the rail system, basically it's a little Allen wrench or Allen key, and if you look right there you can see what looks like little grub screws. You just loosen those up, put them on the rail and tighten. Oh my gosh, this looks so different and so cool. I've never had sights that sit to the side. Now you're probably thinking, what on earth is the point of that, and how on earth are you going to use them? Well, wait until I do the shooting test, or possibly I'll show you just before. And right here you have your QD mount, and that goes right at the back of this rifle, just behind the grip. Nice. Okay, so come on, feast your eyes on this beauty. It's what you would consider in the real world sort of like a competition rifle. So you would use this in competitive situations. Again, if you're wondering why the hell it's got all of these cutouts all over the place, even right there, look, you can even see down where the gearbox is, okay? Even the magwell. Look at that right there, okay? The reason why it has all these cutouts is to reduce the overall weight. It's not just for looks, but I'm telling you now, in terms of looks, I think it looks the business. And again, look at the design of the stock. It's not just for looks, even though in my eyes it looks amazing. It's a low profile competition style stock. Loving the trades on the back too. And that nice sort of crisscross design. And as we're here on the stock, let's just start from the back of this bad boy all the way to the front, showing you all the different features. Yes, I jumped ahead a bit with all the cutouts, but I just couldn't help myself. But anyway, this is basically what you would get. This is a low profile competition style stock. Even on the stock, you've got another, wait for it, another QD sling point. But as I bought this for my use, I prefer it right there. So as we move along the rifle, take a look at this buffer tube. Love the design that they've done all the way around. And of course, it's covered with this very comfortable foam cheek rest. So as we move to this portion of the rifle, I've already shown you that you've got your QD sling point right here. Let's move down. You've got this very cool, very nice looking grip, which has a sort of textured kind of stippling effect. And as we move back up here, you have your mock forward assist. And although it's a mock forward assist, it is spring loaded. And at the top here, you've got your charging handle with that extra little piece right here that ensures it doesn't move unless you grab both sides. And of course, as you would expect, when you pull it back, it opens up your dust cover, which also pulls back your mock bolt, which reveals your hop-up adjustment right there. Now, right now, I want to go over to the other side to show you more features before we progress down this rifle. But I want to tell you this little exciting feature. To some, it's neither here nor there. To me, it's everything. It's blowback. So you will see this going back and forth during my shooting test. Right, so allow me to bring you to this side of the rifle where you have your fire selector switch. And as standard, you've got your safe, semi, and full auto. Nice and firm, very positively clicks into place. That's good. Okay, so far so good, but let me bring you back onto this side. And before we progress further down, you may have noticed that this isn't screwed on tightly. The reason being is that I've changed the spring in this to lower the FPS. I'll talk about that a little later. Tighten this up and progress to this awesome looking flat trigger. And if you look on the face of it, you can see it's got some serrations, so whether you're wearing gloves or not, you get a nice good purchase grip on that trigger. Let's look at these awesome looking sights. Now, again, never had anything like this before. When I first read about it, I thought that's a bit odd. But now looking at it, I can see how useful they can be and how different and cool they would look, if that's what you're looking for. So these are your 45-degree front and rear sight. All you do is you flip these sights up and you just turn your primary to the side, which is useful if you have a large optic on your rifle. And it doesn't stop there. These sights are not just here to look cool or pretty. They really do have multiple uses, or should I say multiple functions, because look, when the sights are not flipped up, you've got your dots, a little bit like the Glock. Look at that on the rear sight. And if I bring the front one closer, you've got your dot on the front post. Oh, and did I mention it's adjustable? So as we move along, let's get back to this awesome looking magwell. Looks absolutely awesome. And then when you get the mag in, it just completes that picture. And on the other side, very nice. I tell you what, I'm loving the trades and the markings and everything on this. It really does look like a competition grade rifle. And of course, this mag is a high cap mag, so on the base you will have your wheel where you would have to wind it up, which you've seen me do many times in other videos. So back to this side of this rifle, you have your mock bolt release. But wait, is it really a mock bolt release? It actually has a function. It really does release your mock bolt, if you see what I'm saying. So, your charging handle with its competition grade extended handle latch, if you pull that back and on the actual bolt release right here, if you press that in like that and let go, look, it keeps your bolt open so you can adjust your hop up. And then if you want to release, nice. Oh, and did I mention that this rifle is mainly made out of metal? Just in case you thought all of this amazing cutouts and everything is just a polymer construction. No, it's mainly made out of metal. The only parts that are not metal, and I must admit I was a little surprised at this, is the mag is not metal. But it looks so cool, I'll give APS a pass. So apart from your mag, your low profile stock, your grip and your sights, which are all made out of nylon fiber, everything else is metal. So as we make progress down this awesome looking key mod system, you are spoilt for rail space. Look at all of that. But if you look down there, where you see the key mod, you see that gorgeous looking outer barrel, also in the gold color scheme, and then you get to your cool looking ported muzzle brake. Oh, and just when you thought I was finished with all the QD sling points, haha, no, one there and one on the other side. But I'm sorry, again, I just prefer it right there. Now, it's almost time for the shooting test and chrono test, but let me show you where you put the battery in this bad boy and also give you a little information about the so-called quick change spring system. So as I bring you back to this very cool looking low profile stock, to get to the battery compartment, because you do put your battery down this buffer tube, you simply push that down and turn it to the side like that and pull, and you're in your buffer tube. And this is my battery pack of choice. I'm going to use 11.1 volt LiPo, and in the interest of safety, let me just remove the mag, and it's already on safe. Connect the battery. Now at this point, let me tell you, you pretty much are going to be limited to this style or size of battery. So take a good look at that, because this battery pack will fit in this buffer tube perfectly. Anything fatter and you're going to struggle getting it down there, because not only do you have the cabling and the plug connections to go down there, you've also got your fuse system. And I also want to show you at this point that if you look down there, because it's got a quick spring chain system, you think all you need to do is just to get a long Allen wrench or a long screwdriver to get down there, unscrew, and you can take the spring out? Oh, hell no! To get the spring out of this bad boy, you've literally got to perform surgery. Now, the good thing about it is you don't have to open up the gearbox. You just have to separate your lower receiver from the rest of the rifle. You've got to take the motor out, okay? And of course, before all of that, you've got to knock these pins out, which are holding this rifle together. Here's a quick series of photos to show you what I had to do to change the spring. So here's my little tip in how to get all of this, the battery, the connections, the fuse casing with the fuse inside and all the cabling down this buffer tube. This is how you've got to do it, because you really are limited as to what you can fit down there. So what I would suggest is, first and foremost, bring it all out like I have here. Get the battery down there first, okay, and push it down as far as you can get it, and then neatly push your connections and the fuse casings down and just tuck the wires in. And if I show you which way around I'm holding the rifle, so you can see the top of the rifle there, so that's the position, push it down, okay, and just wiggle it until it goes flush, and then you're going to have to spin it around until it locks into place. I'm going to dry fire this thing just to show you the blowback action and to make sure it works. So I'll put it on semi first. Take a look. Oh, and boy is that snappy. Let's try this on full auto. And as you can see there, sometimes that bolt or mock bolt will stay back. That's no biggie. Just put the gun on semi, take one shot, and it goes back home. Of course, without the mag in. And no BBs down the chamber. Right, so I've got the mag filled up. Give it a good old wind until you see your first BB appear at the top. There you go, there's your first BB. And I'm just gonna give it a few more winds. So we'll put this back on safe. Let's get the mag in. I just love that skeletonized feature right there. That is just so awesome. Take note of the stats on the screen. And as always, to give you a quick idea how small these targets are, this is a 9-volt battery. Look at that. So what I'll be doing is I'll be aiming at the top row, so that's 0, A, B, C, D and E. I'll be putting 2 shots in each of those tiny targets, and then the 2 rows below I'll go full auto. But prior to all of that, I'm going to take 2 or 3 shots at different parts of the target just so I can sight this gun in properly and adjust the hop up if needed, and then I'll go for the targets. Let's do this. Right, let's have a look at the results to see how I did. As you can see, both my shots landed just pretty much on bullseye, just to the right of it. Then I've got a shot here, here, one there, one there, one just outside the target there, and one just there. For accuracy purposes, this APS ASR 121 is awesome. And then I went full auto on that for a bit of fun. Right, let's chrono this. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I put a downgraded spring in this. I'll give you the stats afterwards about what spring was in there and what spring I've got in there now to make it suitable for CQB gameplay. So there you go, that is absolutely spot on for most gameplay sites. We are looking at about 340 FPS. Now, if you buy one of these bad boys, depending on where you buy it from, please do check out the description on the websites. You can get this from some retailers where the FPS will shoot in excess of 410 FPS. I slapped an M100 spring in here, which is now giving me a suitable 340. And I'm guessing the spring that was in there was either a 110 or 120. Okay, let's put this on full auto and see what the rate of fire is like. Oh, 16 rounds per second out of the box. That's not too shabby at all. So let's get to the pros and cons of this. Let me start with the cons, okay? There's no MOSFET. No MOSFET. Is that a deal breaker for you? So what's next? I don't like the fact that you are so limited to what kind or what size of battery that you can put on this, okay? But having said that, I absolutely love how it's been designed. So I'm kind of contradicting myself, saying I'm loving the buffer tube, I'm loving the low profile stock. Do you know, it's 50-50, I've got to weigh it up. If they made that buffer tube bigger or the stock bigger, it wouldn't look as sexy as it does. So, another thing I wasn't a fan of, the fact that the magazine wasn't metal. But again, I did explain, I'm willing to overlook that because it looks so cool in this piece. And now let me please move on to all the pros. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. That's all I can say. It looks bloomin' amazing. I love it. The color scheme may not be to your liking, but it sure is to mine because it reminds me of one of my favorite Marvel characters. But hey, decent accuracy, solidly built, nice gearbox system. If you like what you see, take a look in the video description below where I have listed as many retailers that I know of around the globe that has this. And it'll kind of give you a good idea of what sort of price you'd be expected to pay. Hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you next time.